Have you ever heard of a show called Paranormal Home Inspectors? Yeah, no one else has either. Now, a few days ago, I was living life peacefully, just doing what T-boars do, and then God came out of nowhere and kissed me on the lips with the knowledge of this show. So, Paranormal Home Inspectors is a highly regarded show, of course, about explores the homes of people who feel they are being haunted. Now, some people have left reviews like pretty unbelievable and formulaic. It's good, but not intentionally. Well, if that doesn't set the expectations for the cinematic masterpiece we're about to witness, I don't know what will. So let's meet our team of paranormal home inspectors, shall we? Introducing Michelle McKay, the paranormal home investigator. This woman will claim anyone is haunting your house, doesn't matter if it's across the city or across the goddamn planet. Osama bin Laden? More like Osama bin haunting your house. She also takes part in the overnight investigation, where they basically walk around and freak out at every sound like a junkie on a high. Who the fuck is that? Introducing Brian, a professional home inspector gigachad. I heard he allegedly beat Jesus Christ at a boxing match and then teabagged God himself just to assert his dominance. Brian is unironically the only sensible person in the show that doesn't immediately blame ghosts for everything. Yeah, it's really weird. This light bulb flickers all the time and I think it's my dead mom haunting me. This light bulb, eh? That is a really strange occurrence, Jim. Have you tried maybe screwing it in all the way? You can do that? And finally, we've got member number 3 of our team, intuitive healer Nadine Mercy. Now, I can't be the only one that thinks that sounds like a stripper identity, but her job is basically to go into the house, whip out her pseudoscience, flop it on the table, and go, ooh, ah. She loves to accuse drains of being evil and screaming for actually negative reasons. I'm pretty sure Nadine could be on an acid trip this entire show and nobody would be able to tell the difference. So now that we got to meet our team, I think it's time we go on our very first ghost adventure together. So this is Catherine. She owns a house in Toronto, Ontario, also known as Hell. And she's got some weird stuff going on around the house. You know, we got water taps turning on, the door on top of the stairs opens sometimes, and then she also whipped out a bit of crazy and said this.
I remember one night I was in bed and I could hear growling. And my dog sleeps at the foot of my bed. So I thought, oh, you know, it's the dog starting to growl again. And then seconds later, I realized that actually I didn't have the dog in the house that night.
You didn't have the dog in the house that night. Where was he? Well, at the bar down the street? What the hell are you even saying right now? And also, she said that her son hears voices in the wall, which is really weird. Because it's not like they're connected to another goddamn house or anything like that. Really strange stuff. But anyway, don't worry, our team of inspectors is here to help.
There's something very dark in here.
I've seen a lot of things down drains, but I've never seen anything like this. There's things down there that are just kind of scary.
All right, 20 seconds in and we're already accusing the drain of being the Antichrist here. I also can't tell if my brain is fried from being chronically online or something like that, but when I was recording the episode for this video and Nadine was talking about there's a very dark presence in here and she was acting all shaken up and shit, it just immediately cuts to Brian, who has a very dark complexion. It really wasn't that funny, but for some reason it just sent me.
There's something very dark in here.
I've seen a lot of things down there.
No, they did not do that. No way. The editors. Okay, maybe I'm fucked up. Now, before we keep going here, I gotta stop and give this show some credit because it is the only show that I have ever seen that has given me a goddamn seizure from only the opening with just text.
Ashley?
Woo-hoo-hoo, I'm scared. Woo. I'm also getting a seizure apparently. Holy shit. That takes skill. It's honestly an art form, really. But now it's time for the inspectors to start their inspection.
All right, let's have a look at the drains. So this helps us just see a little bit further on down. I've seen a lot of things down drains, but I've never seen anything like this. It's not what I expected to see at all. There's things down there that are just kind of scary.
Is there something buried down there?
No.
Was there something buried down there?
Yes.
Holy shit, there's definitely a dead body buried in that drain. Oh my god! I love that this show tries to make every single little thing so dramatic. Like when they cut Brian off for talking about what's down the drain, they never tell you what Brian saw. They just leave you all blue-balled and shit. It's terrible. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe it was black mold so strong that it just burns your eye holes out of you just by looking at it. I don't know, but we never find out. So Brian, our lovely Giga Chad here, finishes his home inspection, and basically his conclusion is, this bitch crazy. But now it's time for the one person who can truly solve the mystery going on in this house. Part-time stripper / part-time intuitive healer, Nadine Mercy.
Nadine has barely walked through the door when she senses a presence.
I have this really heavy presence in my chest. It's almost like I want to breathe, and I'm almost shaking.
Are you having a heart attack?
I'm actually
Are you
picking
sure
up
you're
an
not
animal
fucking
spirit.
dying?
2 elderly men, a lady. There's quite a few here, and I'm not sure why, but they do have messages to give, and they want to know why. Why are you here? And we don't want you here. I'm just going to ask everybody to calm down because it's a little bit overwhelming right now. They're basically saying I won't take no for an answer. I won't let you do this to us. They've been here for a long time. Heavy presence in this room. They do congregate here often as the children are very open and neutral. You see, I don't know if you can see the goosebumps. Oh, my arms are just like a shot right through my whole body, and there's
Goosebumps! Listen, I know we're working with a 240p camera here, but the world's greatest detective, Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Gang, they couldn't find goosebumps on your arm, woman. What in tarnation are you fucking talking about? It's actually funny though, because the show accidentally exposes Nadine as a fake, like in the first episode, because they bring her down to the basement at one point and she says this.
It's very quiet down here. They're not speaking to me. They're just watching, observing.
Nadine feels peaceful, positive energy in the new basement.
And then there's a cut there, and you can tell that the producers in between were like, listen, Nadine, Brian said that drain over there is the Antichrist. We need you to go in there and say some shit. So then we get this.
But without warning, the mood shifts.
A little bit of heaviness here, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if they're coming from Earth source, Earth energy. Yeah, I'm breathing really heavy here. I'm trying to figure out which corner it's coming from. I'm starting to shake a bit. Just gonna close my eyes and see if I can't hear a little bit deeper. Why are you here? They keep asking you, why are you here? They're asking me to leave. I want you out of the house. There's something very dark in here. I don't want to be in this room. It's not feeling good. I gotta leave.
Listen, I'm not a big psychic guy here, but I gotta ask, how the fuck do you walk past that apparently evil room and just not notice it? Either this intuitive healer is a fraud, or she is the worst goddamn psychic in the world. So now that the team has done their inspection, they can move on to the segment where they spend the night in the house. And let me tell you, this shit is frightening. Not really though, it's exactly like every other ghost show I mentioned earlier. Like, they hear a noise and they're like, oh my god, what the fuck was that? And then they run up to the noise, apparently where it was, and then they hear another noise and they're like, oh my god, what the fuck is that? And then, you know, rinse and repeat. We know the process, we know how this works. I will say though, the night camera in this show is probably the most terrifying part about this entire show. Like, look at that. That is something straight out of my nightmares. Like a sleep paralysis a demon or something. So now that they spent the night being terrified of every single sound that they possibly could hear, they show their findings to the family, and to sum it up, it basically goes like, yeah, so this is what our home inspector guy found. I don't believe him. Yeah, me neither. Anyway, our intuitive healer says there's like 6 ghosts in your walls, and your drain is a portal to hell. Oh, that seems about right. Yeah, I agree. And also, I read this story in the archives about this kid that died all the fuck way across the city, like actually 20 kilometers away, and I think he's haunting your house too. Okay, cool, thanks! And then they just leave. The show does like a follow-up after 2 weeks of them visiting, and it's honestly all the same. The family just goes, yeah, life hasn't changed much. We're still getting haunted and shit, but we're at peace now. I also think it's worth mentioning in the very first episode that the woman who was getting haunted was the producer of the show. So, now there's a lot of episodes to this show, but there is one episode that stands above the rest. One episode that makes every other episode look real in comparison. One episode that makes you question how the fuck this got even 4.4 stars out of 10 on IMDb. Episode 11. Now meet Cheyenne. Cheyenne took this ghost show as her one chance to get into Hollywood. You'll see what I mean. Just watch this.
So can you tell me what's been going on in the home?
There's been a lot of weird activity happening in the house. We've had candies hidden through the house. We've had light bulbs consistently blowing in my daughter's old bedroom. The most recent, I walked in the kitchen and found 5 butcher knives all laid out on the counter. The tips of them were at the edge of the counter, and all were side by side, perfectly spaced apart.
Holy shit, spooky candy and spooky knives? Guys, someone call a priest quick. We need to get this place exorcised.
There's been a lot more, mostly happening to my daughter. She's getting the brunt of it.
Well, one day I was sitting at the table shining my boots, and all of a sudden I heard 3 footsteps in the kitchen. So I looked over, and there was nothing there, and all of a sudden my boots went flying the opposite way, and I got smacked right in the face. Sometimes when I'm out back, I can see a face in upstairs window, which that would be my old bedroom.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. Kids are getting bitch slapped, faces are appearing in windows. This is no laughing matter in this house. So in comes Brian, our beautiful Brian, and he home inspects this bitch.
Now, here in the dining room, the homeowner's daughter was sitting here at this table polishing a pair of boots. She heard something in the kitchen, turned to look, and at that time the boots flew out of her lap. When she turned back, there was a sensation that she got slapped in the face. This is really beyond what a home inspector does, but let's have a look. So if I've got a pair of boots on my lap or even on the edge of this glass table and I'm polishing them, if I'm startled and I hear a noise in the kitchen, I'm going to turn, my balance is going to be thrown off, and these boots will fall. So when that happens, she turns back and reaches for the boots and probably hit her head on this glass table. Again, not what we do as home inspectors, but it's certainly a plausible explanation.
Listen, I absolutely love the idea of the daughter completely making up this story and just sitting there and being like, fuck, I gotta make this look real. And so she just slams her head into the glass table. Maybe there's something wrong with me, Jesus Christ. So Brian's segment is actually really long this episode because, you know, he's got a lot of bullshit to finesse his way around. But this is basically the summarization of what he came up with.
A lot of the occurrences reported by the homeowner in this house today are simply physical activity. They had to have been done by a human, by somebody. They have nothing to do with the house, nothing to do with the mechanics of the house, and really, that's what I'm here for.
Now it's time for intuitive healer and part-time stripper Nadine Mercy to come in and solve this bitch for all of us. She walks a bit through the house, feels nothing, and then this happens.
Let's go. Bedroom upstairs. I just got a call. I just got a shot of electricity going right through my body. I don't want to go in. My legs. I got goosebumps. Oh, don't tell me that's the jewelry box I've been looking for with the spinning ballerina. It is! Oh my God, I've been thinking about this for the last 2 months. It's the first time that I ever saw that jewelry box that I had as a kid. Look at the ballerina, how cool is that? This girl is special. She's been connecting to me for the past 2 months.
In Cheyenne's room in the basement, Nadine senses the young girl's energy.
Heavier.
I'm just a bit of a healer, more of a clairvoyant and a psychic. She can connect to the other side as well. She's attracting this. Some of it is dark. She needs to know that. That's how powerful she is. And she wants to help people, and that's her purpose. She needs to know that.
Nadine believes that Cheyenne possesses psychic abilities, but without understanding this unique gift, she could inadvertently attract a negative, possibly aggressive spirit.
Yes, an aggressive spirit that might put more candies on the wall. Terrifying stuff. So basically, if you're lost, Nadine is convinced that Cheyenne is destined to grow up and be a scam artist, just like Nadine. This gets explained to the family, and the mom is like, holy shit, she's right. And Nadine ends up leaving a message for good old Cheyenne here.
She has left a message for you, Cheyenne.
I've been through this before. It's such a scary place. You know that you're different. You know that strange things happen to you, but these strange things are gonna go away. I promise you that with my heart and soul. And I know that you're crying out for help, and you just need to step up to the plate. The most important thing in this message, and you hear this loud and clear, is you stay in the now. You are guided
so delicately, and you feel this, you see it, you sense it in the physical, to stay now. You've arrived, sister. You arrived.
What in fucking tarnation was that? Can we get a transcript of that? You just need to step up to the plate. The most important thing in this message, and you hear this loud and clear, is that you stay in the now. You are guided so delicately, and you feel as you see it, you sense in the physical to stay now. You've arrived, sister. There was nothing clear about that message. Minecraft enchantment text is more clear than that message. Yeah, so to wrap this bitch up, the kid basically cons her parents into thinking that 1, she's haunted, 2, she's special and has magical powers, and then Nadine, the other con artist, comes in and is like, yeah, you have special powers. Congratulations. Fist bump. And then now she thinks she's special, and that's where the episode ends. Well, hey, listen, if you want a really trashy show, feel free to give this one a watch. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.